Welcome to the YouTube channel of Michael J. Swanson. Michael is the author of How David Beats Goliath and is the CEO of Advocate Capital. And now, here's Michael.
Sean, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Let's say an experienced lawyer like yourself is maybe watching this or listening to this on our podcast, and they never really thought about sharing their knowledge. What kind of advice would you have for them? Where do they get started?
Well, I think the best way to get started is, be active on your local listservs. Most states have an active Justice Association listserv, and there may be other listservs you can be on. Rick Friedman has a great one. Nick Rowley has a great listserv. There's great listservs that are out there, and the reality is, by posting your ideas and or questions, you're helping the entire group become better. And the listservs are only as good as the members being active in them. So that if everybody sits back and never participates, then the listserv dies. And we've seen that happen. I've seen listservs just die out because nobody engages. And in Nevada, we're very fortunate because we have a very active listserv. We probably have over 100 emails a day on our listserv with ideas and comments and people helping. And we've created a culture in Nevada where the standard is that you share. You leaders lead by leading, and I take that very seriously. And myself and Ben Cloward and Christian Morris, who are I consider top level attorneys here in Nevada, we all got together and we created this listserv, and we all share the same belief that we're going to give everybody anything they ask for if we have it, as long as they're willing. They got to work. They got to be active themselves, and if you're there and you're working hard, we want to see you do well. And so it's just best advice: get active on a listserv, and then go out and learn. There's great programming out there. Whether you go to the Trojan Horse or you go to the Jerry Spence Ranch or you do the Reptile, do Ethos with Rick Friedman, or you go do some of the stuff with Nick Rowley, all those different opportunities out there, and there's a lot of them all the time. I mean, throughout the year, anytime you want to, you can go and do these. And I've always said that lawyers are a commodity unto themselves. And so why would you not invest in yourself by going and training yourself and learning everything you can? It doesn't make any sense. And then, of course, the next best advice I can give to attorneys after you do that, you got to become a great trial lawyer. And by going to courses, you can learn the techniques, but then you got to go execute them. And unfortunately, we all know in the trial world, there just isn't as many trials today as there was 10, 20 years ago. What we do is we do a lot of focus groups. And, we have a company called Paramount Focus Groups that I own. And I've been real active getting attorneys to focus group their cases. And it's the way that they can then go and get better at their craft that they've now learned, and try new things out, try new techniques out. And the opportunity to do that it's not expensive, and it's the best practice that I can figure out for attorneys to get real life experience. And so
that's really, I had not thought about it. I know you've always done a lot of focus groups. I know you'll focus group a case multiple times, I think, before you get to trial. But I hadn't considered it as actually a way of practicing on the attorney side. I always thought it was a way of just judging the case.
Yeah, believe it or not, the unintended consequence, when I started doing it, and I've probably done probably 700 focus groups. Wow. We probably do 2 or 3 a week. And what it does is, not only do you learn about your cases, which is great. I mean, that's the primary purpose, but what ends up happening is that I started using it and said, hey, you know what? I saw this technique that, so-and-so used. I wonder if I could do that, because maybe you can, maybe you can't. It may not work for you. And so, well, why don't we go try it out with a focus group? Let's see if this technique works.
Yeah.
With our focus group, just as you see me on video now, our focus group company now we have camera on the jury, we have a camera on you, and we have the camera on the exhibit. So there's 3 different images on the screen at one time, so that you can evaluate yourself. And presentation skills don't come naturally for most people. So getting in front of people and becoming natural, David Ball talks a lot about charisma, and he's right. Charisma's, if you're ever going to be a great trial lawyer, you got to have great charisma. And if you're nervous or scared, your natural charisma can't ever show. It can't shine. The way that you avoid being scared and unsure of yourself is by doing a whole bunch of focus groups over and over again. And by the end, like you said, I mean, it's not uncommon for a trial where I'll do 15, 20 focus groups from the beginning of the case through right before trial.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So,
well,
it's something I believe in.
If a young lawyer or experienced lawyer want to get in touch with you, we'll put your contact information in the link either above or below, however my team does that. I imagine you wouldn't mind taking a call from somebody.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and honestly, I take calls daily from attorneys around the country, and a lot of times they just have questions. I have, as you know, I do a lot of product defect law, so there's some products we have institutional knowledge on, and we get calls on those. I've had some really large success against retail shops, and so people call me on that. I'm always willing to help. I mean, that's part of, I think, what makes it great to be a plaintiff lawyer is sharing and not being greedy. I think one of the really, I think, looming issues out there that persist with some people is they think they own an idea, and that's really unfortunate because ideas aren't owned. Ideas get shared, they get improved upon, and we all, like you said, as we share our ideas and we become better attorneys, and we share them with other attorneys, we all rise up, and our success can be shared, and there's plenty of room in the personal injury world for that to happen.
Yeah, I think the old days was more, I guess, more cutthroat, competitive. I don't want to train my competitors to compete with me and things like that. It's good to see it turning the corner.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a young attorney, that's absolutely how it was. I mean, and then the idea being that everybody would then just refer their cases to the 2 or 3 attorneys that knew how to try cases, and it's just not my business model.
Yeah, well, your business model is pretty awesome. It's worked so well for you. It's very impressive what you all have built there, and we're very excited to be a part of it. We do the easy part, the funding, frankly. You do the hard part. I always tell people when we hire new people, we have to deprogram them from the PR that's out there about plaintiff lawyers. And I explain to them, look, I've never been to a plaintiff lawyer's conference room where there's not a box of tissues nearby, because they're listening to people who've just had the worst day of their life. They have to say, and sometimes they have to say, I'm sorry, because of tort reform, I can't help you, even though your grandmother was molested in a nursing home, or your child is a paraplegic due to a drunk driver or whatever. So you have the tough part, and we have the easy part. And it's been really fun, though, kind of vicariously to watch what you're doing in Nevada, and I know all throughout the country. So thank you for what you do, Sean.
I appreciate it, and I really thank you for your guys' constant partnership. It's been a game changer for our firm, for sure.
Thanks for watching. Send your questions or comments to Michael at mike@howdavidbeatsgoliath.com.